Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cailin YouTube channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and today we're going to be looking at your September 2025 horoscopes. You can watch your horoscope for your ascendant, sun, and moon sign. In fact, I recommend that you do watch for all three because that way you'll have a really well-rounded idea of what you can expect for the month ahead. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. If you're wanting more regular astrological updates, you can follow me. It's the same handle, which is Cailin. So September is a really exciting month because we have eclipse season. We've got a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces and a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. So if you're a Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, definitely be sure to watch your horoscope for that sign because it will be very impactful for you, this eclipse, that is to say. And lastly, just letting you know that I'm actually referring back to my old format where I'm just flowing through the astrological events from the beginning of the month through till the end of the month. And the reason for that is twofold. Firstly, a lot of you said that you prefer those horoscopes, which I was doing before, that they have more flow, and you know what, I tend to agree with you. And secondly, they were taking me probably about twice as long to just execute in totality. So I hope you enjoyed this horoscope. If you do, please give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and it would really help me if you could share this video around just to try and grow the channel that little bit more. Thank you so much, and now let's get into your horoscope. Hi Leo Sun, Moon and Risings, welcome to your September 2025 horoscope. As the month begins, Venus, which is the planet of love, romance, money, and luxury, will continue to transit Leo in your first house. So that is up until the 19th of September. Romantically speaking, this is really positive for you. If you are single, then this can lead to more opportunities to meet someone special. Maybe someone will ask you out on a date, or the shoe could be on the other foot. This is certainly a good time for bold romantic gestures. If you are already in a relationship, then this can see there being more romance, more passion in that existing relationship. Okay, now this can see you just feeling more attractive in general, having a more magnetic quality. So Venus transiting your first house can afford you a lot more charm. Not that Leos are at a loss for charm, but in any case, Venus transiting your first house can also see you enjoying getting dressed up and just feeling better about your appearance in general. On the 1st of September, Saturn will retrograde back into the sign of Pisces. So you are getting ready to close out a nearly 3-year-long transit which started in March 2023, with Saturn transiting your 8th house for just over 5 months. This can see you tying up loose ends that relate to your mutual resources with another person. So this could be paying off old debts, or people who owe you money finally paying you back. It's like you no longer have ties to a certain person or people in your life after this period of time concludes. So this may, for some of you, be closing out a chapter relating to things like child support money, alimony, spousal support, etc. But on a totally different note, the 8th house also relates to fears and blockages. So Saturn going through your 8th house can see you working really hard to overcome these. Now, for the first 2 weeks of the month, Saturn will be at 29 degrees, which is the critical anaretic degree in astrology. So there may be some kind of crisis that occurs that pertains to your 8th house. So this could be the mutual resources that you share with other people, your partner's income, or being quite triggered by a person or a certain situation. So there may be things that you are working really hard to overcome in the first couple weeks of September in particular, and then again pretty much from the end of January through till mid-February next year. The 8th house rules over intimacy, Okay, so Saturn going through the 8th house can see you having to face issues that relate to your sex life, to your intimate life, or with respect to your sexuality. So you may need to confront certain topics or realizations during this 5-month period of time. Maybe you are having important conversations with your significant other about your intimate life. Maybe there are issues with ED, or just feeling like you're not connecting with your partner, or maybe you're bringing up issues that you have with them that need to be talked about and ironed out. Now, on the 5th of September, Mars in Libra in your 3rd house is going to form a square with Jupiter in Cancer in your 12th house at 18 degrees. So, the 3rd house in astrology rules over things like communications, our mindset, plus our relationships with siblings, extended relatives, co-workers, and friends. So, the 12th house and Jupiter here in Cancer can see you having to decide whether you're able to heal or forgive or move on from feeling disappointed by another person. So it may be one of those aforementioned individuals. So on a different note, old history could be brought back up into conversation. And this could be, again, with friends, siblings, extended relatives, or maybe even co-workers. And basically, with this square occurring on the 5th of September, this energy can be with you for pretty much the first week of September as a whole. So that's something to just be mindful of. Maybe you're just feeling a bit insecure about certain friendships or connections and where you stand within those relationships. On, I guess, the most extreme expression of this square, you could experience backstabbing from someone, like a friend, a sibling, a relative, or a co-worker, or maybe someone is just really exaggerating something when they're in conversation with you and you're just having to lay out the facts, or maybe even sift through the information to try and find the truth, because Jupiter is all about the truth. And with Jupiter being in Cancer in the 12th house, it's like the truth is maybe hidden, or perhaps if you do feel triggered or angered by certain individuals or situations in the first 7 days of the month, this could be occluding your ability to see the truth and to see things clearly. On the positive side of this aspect, there's a real opportunity here for you to heal. Yes, it would be a challenge, but it's definitely possible to heal an important relationship with one of those aforementioned individuals. So it's really about tackling something that's maybe been bubbling along in the background that you've maybe been avoiding for a long time, and really addressing the elephant in the room. On the 7th or the 8th of September, depending where you live in the world, there will be a total lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 8th house at 15 degrees. So lunar eclipses are like full moons, but on steroids. Essentially, they are very notable and significant conclusions to a chapter, or like a peak in a certain cycle, right? So the 8th house rules over mutual resources. So because this total lunar eclipse is trining Jupiter in Cancer in your 12th house, maybe someone will help you out financially in a really significant way. Resources can come through just in the nick of time, or money can be there when you need it. And so this can be from another person, maybe a charity, maybe an organization, and maybe a certain debt is being wiped for you, or you're being told that you no longer owe someone money, or owe something to someone or an institution. Okay, now maybe someone is notifying you that they're going to leave something to you in their will, right? And this could be someone who's already passed and you're finding out the details of that will or that inheritance, or maybe someone is just making it known to you that when this day arrives, this is what you can expect from me. Now, the 8th house rules over your significant other's personal income. So this could see your significant other receiving maybe a big financial boon, maybe they are earning more money or they're receiving a lump sum of money. The eighth house also relates to, or rules over, I should say, things like therapy, right? So you may be having a really big breakthrough with your psychologist or with your therapist. Maybe this is indicative of there being some kind of big epiphany that you are having around the time of the total lunar eclipse. This can help you to overcome an addiction or some kind of fear or blockage. Maybe this is you experiencing a breakthrough in your intimate life. Now, the eighth house rules over our intuition and our psychic gifts. So maybe you are actually just having a really impactful session with your tarot cards, or having an astrological breakthrough or realization. Or maybe you're receiving a really significant reading which is very accurate and which really resonates for you. This could be a successful hypnotherapy session, or with the eighth house ruling over the truth. Well, actually, the eighth house rules over hidden secrets. So I've really given the punchline away here, but what I mean to say is that you may discover the truth about a situation. So maybe this is something that you have wondered about for a really long time, and it's like, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to know, what this person said or what really happened with this situation, even if it doesn't relate to you. So an important truth or insight may very well be revealed around the time of the eclipse. So this could be discovered like a couple of weeks before or even after the eclipse. Now, on the 19th of September, Venus is going to leave the sign of Leo in your first house and it will enter Virgo. So it will transit Virgo in your second house until the 13th of October. So this can see you receiving, potentially, hopefully, an increase in finances, in income, maybe with resources. So you could be earning more money, procuring new resources. Maybe there's an important new investment here that takes place. Maybe you're increasing the price of your products or your services. It does have to be said that when Venus transits the second house, that we can spend more money. Okay, so maybe this is spending on yourself. So things like skincare, facial massages, hair care products, perfume, maybe new jewelry pieces, a new wardrobe, a new watch, an engagement ring. Maybe you're planning to propose to someone. On a different note though, this can see you working hard to shift your mindset and your abundance mindset. So shifting from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance. So you could be overcoming blockages in that department. The second house rules over food, and wherever Venus goes, this is where we can be kind of overly indulgent. So you may just be eating more sweets, eating out more than usual, so spending a lot of money at restaurants and cafes. And also the second house relates to our self-esteem, our self-worth, and personal values. So Venus transiting the second house is actually really positive for those things. Maybe you are reassessing your personal values, or you could just be experiencing an elevation in your personal sense of self-worth and just an elevation in your self-esteem as a whole. On the 22nd of September, Mars is going to enter the sign of Scorpio, and it will transit Scorpio in your fourth house for 6 weeks until the 4th of November. So this is a more tricky transit because Mars going through the fourth house can basically usher in disagreements or discord or maybe even accidents that pertain to the fourth house. So with the fourth house ruling over family and flatmates, it's possible that there may be disagreements or conflict that you experience with your family or with people that you live with. And you don't necessarily need to live with family to experience said disagreements or conflicts. So there could just be tensions running high in the home. Maybe this is even with your children. Okay, now the fourth house rules over property. So maybe you're just doing a lot of manual labor outside in the yard. Maybe you're looking at making improvements to your home, making upgrades or renovating the home during the 6-week period. Or you could be working out at home. Maybe you've got an at-home gym, or you're just doing exercises at home. I know when Mars transited my fourth house that was the case for me. So it does need to be said that Mars can see you being more accident prone as it relates to things that the fourth house rules over. Okay, so accidents at the home, maybe while you're cooking in the kitchen with knives, because Mars rules over sharp objects. Definitely be careful when you're cooking because you're more susceptible to sustaining burns in the kitchen, or even if you light bonfires, as my partner regularly does, and he's a Leo rising. So if you're watching this, be careful. Also be careful when you're using machinery, tools, or anything that is sharp or even considered to be a weapon. All right, so that goes for things like power tools, chainsaws, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, appliances are likely to break down and stop working while Mars transits the fourth house. And it's funny, now that I'm saying this, I'm realizing that Mars is transiting my fourth house cusp, and my toaster, which I've had for 7 years, just blew yesterday, which is really annoying because I was quite fond of it. Now, because Mars is in Scorpio, which is a water sign, there may be issues here with water, the water systems, plumbing, etc., etc. Or maybe you are just implementing things like a water tank or water system to water the garden, etc., etc. Lastly, a bit of a caution. You do have to be careful when it comes to home security with Mars transiting the fourth house. So just make sure that you are locking the doors to your home, not leaving windows open, even locking cars as well. So don't leave valuables in the car or in obvious places, whether that's in your home or even, leaving your car out and about while you're, let's say, out for the day. So really just be sure to secure your property and belongings, because home break-ins and car break-ins are more of like a high risk situation when Mars transits the fourth house. Okay, so lastly for the month, on the 21st or the 22nd of September, depending where you live in the world, there will be a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo in your second house. So it'll be at 29 degrees or maybe 28 degrees and 59 minutes for some of you, depending where you live in the world. Ultimately, a new moon solar eclipse is like a supercharged new moon. So it's a very powerful new beginning that is starting in your life, and it relates to your second house themes. So personal income, resources, diet, etc. So this could see you experiencing an increase in income, maybe generating a new stream of income. Now, it doesn't mean that it comes through immediately. Maybe the idea is there or the conversation is there, and you know that that is to follow in the months to come. Okay, so there could be significant expenses around this time, maybe a big investment. So you could be dumping a lot of money to procure a new resource or, like I said, an investment. The second house relates to your diet. So there could be a change to your diet. Now, the new moon eclipse is trine Pluto and Uranus. So even though it's an out of sign trine, it's also really close. So this trine to Pluto and Uranus relates to mutual resources and large sums of money, plus things happening swiftly. And ultimately, this new moon eclipse is actually opposite Saturn in Pisces. So this is like something new that's entering your life that comes through quickly and swiftly. It's not a word, swiftly and easily, but it requires a big commitment to you. So this is maybe like a financial commitment, a commitment to an investment, a commitment to a new diet, maybe cutting something out of your existing diet. Maybe you're looking at gardening, okay? So planting your own food, which is shown by the second house. The second house also rules over teeth. So there may be dental work that you need to have done. Maybe this is like a root canal, a filling, maybe even a tooth removed. Or perhaps you're just moving forward with your decision to get like braces, maybe Invisalign or teeth whitening really, really quickly, but there's some kind of upfront financial cost where you're committing to it, or you're just committing to something that's going to take you a while. Now, lastly, maybe there's a big shift in your personal set of values that you are committing to. So it's like, I'm no longer going to do this, or from now on, I'm going to do that. And this could really be bolstering your sense of self-worth, self-esteem. And it's like you're making a personal commitment to something that's very important to you. So Leo, that's all I have for you for your September horoscope. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on the channel, hit the subscribe button. And also don't be shy to share this video around so that it reaches more people. And lastly, Leo, if you want to see more content from me in the way of astrological updates, then you can follow me on Instagram and or Facebook because I post really regularly there. Okay, Leo, enjoy September and I'll see you in October.